You can have the best strategies, the best methodologies, the most advanced processes, and be the most qualified person to teach in your industry, and still not have people coming into your high ticket long term spaces. And it has nothing. Why do I keep saying that? Nothing to do. That's a lie. Of course, it has something to do with your content. Of course, it has something to do with your strategy. Of course, it has something to do with your messaging. But what I am trying to say though is none of those things do matter if you don't have strong leadership positioning behind your information, behind your strategy. I have built multiple successful businesses in different industries. The first personal brand that I built was in the fitness industry. I was documenting my 45 kilo weight loss, and then I moved into the beauty industry as a lash artist, and I did that for a couple of years, and then I evolved into beauty education and certifying people in lashes and business coaching for beauty service providers. And now I am a business and leadership coach for tons of different people in different industries. And every single one of those businesses and brands were built and scaled in the same way. And it wasn't because I had the most unique way of teaching or the most advanced strategies. Even when I was very early on in some of those industries, I was growing faster than people that were way more certified than me. And it was because I unknowingly at the time built all of my brands based on my actual leadership, not my information. And I didn't realize that I was doing this until quite recently, to be honest. I've had a couple of opportunities to speak lately and do Instagram lives with people and go speak at their events. And of course, I had to reflect on my story and how I've gotten to where I am and how I've built what I have built. And I've seen this very strong pattern through all of these different brands that I have built that explain why they worked. And it was because I actually built a personal brand rooted in who I was, how I lead, how I think, the types of decisions that I make, not just the intellectual information that I know. And in every single one of those evolutions, it was very easy for me to get clients, even when I didn't have, kicked the phone, a lot of experience in those industries. And it's because my leadership and how I was building was very obvious. And they trusted not just what I knew, but in who I was. And it was very clear where I was taking myself and therefore where I was taking them to. Most people, especially coaches or anyone who is working in transformation-based industries, think that they are building thought leadership. They think that they are being a leader in their industry, and they are a leader in their industry, and they can be. It's not to say that they're not, but they are still positioning their value around what they can teach people versus who the fuck they are. You are competing on information and how good your work is more than how good you are at leading yourself and leading other people. And doing this can absolutely work. You will get people in your programs. You will get people who buy from you and probably love your work and give you incredible feedback and probably get incredible results. But you will find, let me know if this is you right now, that most people, when you are building your brand in this way, will hang around for a very long time in your free, low, and mid-ticket spaces, and they'll often buy all of your low-ticket things, but it takes a very long time for them to upgrade to the actual high-ticket spaces where you do the deeper work, or they're not coming in at all. So you're filling all of your low and mid-ticket offers, but nobody is coming into your high-ticket spaces, and so you are constantly on this cycle of launching and creating more ways, low ticket ways for people to buy from you, but you're not actually compounding long-term recurring revenue because people are not locking in longer term contracts, and therefore being able to obviously compound your revenue. And the most frustrating thing is that you know that your deeper work is so incredibly valuable and life-changing for your clients, and you are not in the business of just creating quick wins and getting people in and getting them a quick little shift and then sending them on their way. You are here because you want to create deep identity level transformation. And you know that while your low ticket experiences and short-term experiences are incredibly valuable and create shifts and results for your clients, you know that the actual level of transformation that you are capable of creating for your clients that genuinely changes their fucking lives doesn't happen in a 1 week container or a 2 week or a 2 month container. This is work that requires 6 to 12 plus months for someone to truly permanently change their life. You want clients that want to work with you and stay with you for years, who give you the type of feedback and testimonials that you have changed their life forever. And let me tell you, it is incredibly difficult to get clients to have the level of trust and activation required to invest $5, $10, $20,000 to work with you for the next 6 to 12 plus months when your brand is not built on the foundation of your leadership and you are primarily leading with the information or the processes that you teach your clients. When people are investing high ticket, long term, they are not just looking for more information, they are looking to be led by someone who is very clearly an embodiment of the identity and transformation that they want to create and embody for themselves. And if that is not visible in your content, and especially also in the offers that you are creating, and you are simply staying essentially in a teacher archetype and not actually in a leader archetype, people want to learn from you, but they don't want to be led by you long term. When people are investing in high ticket long term spaces, they want to work with someone who they can very clearly see that they are consistently evolving their own embodiment of the work and they are going somewhere. They are taking themselves to a reality and an experience of life that they want to experience too. They want to come with you on this journey. And most people do not have this in their offers or in their content whatsoever. And so your content stays helpful. It stays often inspirational, but it doesn't have the level of aspirational leadership for people to feel both activated by you and trust you enough to want to spend tens of thousands of dollars to work with you long term. And if you continue creating content in this way, like I said, you will get people in the door. They will buy from you. They will often buy all of your low ticket things. And maybe eventually they will come into your high ticket offers, but it's going to take a lot more nurturing and a lot more trust building over a longer period of time for them to be able to justify making that decision to go all the way with you long term. And it doesn't just dilute your client retention and your revenue with the amount that people are willing to pay you, but it also dilutes the strength of your brand and the opportunities that you are able to create inside your industry. This is the type of brand positioning work that we focus on heavily inside of Strategic Psycho Mastermind. And it is why I have clients who, for example, one of my most recent clients has gone from completely dead sales to an 80% sold out signature program within 2 weeks of opening doors, because we completely repositioned her brand from mostly an educational brand where she was giving so much value in her content that people were saving, they were loving, they were jumping into her free ebooks, but they weren't coming into her signature offers. And once she started bringing in leadership-led content, her mind was fucking blown, and she has had an 80% sold out launch within a 2 week window. It is also why I've had multiple clients at this point who have hired me just as they have been essentially burning down their previous business and starting in a completely different direction, in a completely different industry, being brand new to that industry, and within months signing 5-figure clients, but also having industry opportunities come to them very, very quickly, being invited to speak on other people's podcasts, being invited to co-facilitate at other people's events, having their content shared by massive accounts and industry leaders within their niche, because they were not building their brand based on frameworks and information and methodologies. Yes, it is part of the strategy, but it is not the foundation. The foundation is the leadership that built the strategy. The foundation is the perspectives and the beliefs and the experiences and the stories that justify why those methods and processes actually work. Your high ticket client is not just looking for the most informed person. They are looking for someone whose leadership they trust enough to follow long term. That is what gives somebody the trust and safety to want to pay you tens of thousands of dollars. And that is what gives people a reason to not just work with you once, but want to stay with you for years to come. Anybody can copy your method. Anybody can steal your strategies and call it their own. Anybody can steal the language of your brand and the concepts of your brand. They can even mimic your thought leadership. But what nobody can copy is your actual embodiment of your leadership. That is your distinction, and it is the very reason high ticket clients are going to choose you. So after this video, what I want you to do is, well, number one, go to the description of this and go apply for Strategic Psycho Mastermind, because this is where we do this work in depth. But the second thing is I want you to go to your Instagram right now and look at your last 10 to 15 pieces of content and ask yourself and audit your account. Are you teaching and expressing from information? Are you teaching and talking about concepts? Are you trying to educate? Or are you leading from your embodiment? Is the way that you think, the way that you make decisions, and the way that you actually lead yourself through your area of expertise and in your business and with your clients, is that actually visible in your content? Because if it is not, that is the biggest gap that you have right now that is stopping you from signing more high ticket clients. And when you shift this is when you will start to get messages from your audience that sound something along the lines of, I don't even know what it is that you're selling, but I know that I need to be inside. And yes, people actually say this to me. And yes, they will actually say that to you. And I am not promoting irresponsible investing and just spending money on shit that you don't know what it is. Your audience should be informed and make informed investment decisions, okay? But if your content and the way that you express yourself and the way that you lead does not create a feeling for your audience of, I immediately feel like I can trust this person. I immediately feel like I want to be in proximity to this person before they ever find out about your offer. This is why it takes so long for people to make investment decisions, and why you need to explain every nuance and every single detail for people to actually feel safe in making an investment decision. When you know how to position your leadership just as strongly and strategically as you know how to position and explain your offer, you don't need to over-explain your offer. You don't need to give them every single detail and address every single objection for somebody to make an actual decision. They know the offer, they know what they get, but they're not buying because of what they get in the offer. They buy because they trust you. They buy because they want to be led by you. They don't need more information. They need to trust the person that they are investing into.